Hi everyone, my name is Tom Last, and I am an ethical individualist. The Philosophy of Freedom was written by Rudolf Steiner over 100 years ago. It presents a science of human freedom to establish a solid foundation for ethical individualism and for our social and political life. Each Supreme Court justice has a judicial philosophy for interpreting the meaning of the Constitution. In this video, I will compare interpreting the Constitution as a fixed and unchanging dead document with interpreting the Constitution as an evolving and living document. We will look at a conservative view, a liberal view, and a view of an ethical individualist.
I find this originalist judicial philosophy to be really troubling. In essence, it means that judges and courts should evaluate our constitutional rights and privileges as they were understood in 1789. I firmly believe the American Constitution is a living document intended to evolve as our country evolves.
A dead Constitution is a black and white document with a fixed meaning that does not change over time. It is interpreted historically by finding the original meaning of the text and the intentions of the founders who wrote it. This way of interpreting the Constitution is called originalism. The meaning of a living Constitution is flexible, so it can evolve with the times. It is interpreted in light of the current moral, political, and cultural climate. The late Justice Scalia popularized the dead Constitution. He said, "It's not a living document, it's dead, dead, dead." And he said, "The only good Constitution is a dead Constitution." The reason he holds this view is because he considers the judges idiots who believe they are the ones to decide how the Constitution should evolve. Judges are not to be moral agents, but simply neutral translators of the original text. The problem with a living Constitution, in a word, is that somebody has to decide how it grows, and when it is, that new rights come forth. Scalia wants to keep judges away from using flawed human judgment. President Trump's selection for the Supreme Court, Neil Gorsuch, deeply admired Scalia. Gorsuch is a self-proclaimed originalist and disciple of Scalia. He does not believe a judge should be concerned with the social consequences of judicial decisions. He only asks himself, what would have been done 200 years ago? Judges should strive to apply the law as they find it, focusing backwards, not forwards. Gorsuch is faced with the historical problem of figuring out how our constitutional rights were understood in 1787. What troubles Feinstein is that if a judge dogmatically follows originalist interpretations, legislation that favors identity groups based on race, gender, or sexuality may be held back by the court. Examples would be affirmative action and gay rights. Many well-known founders were slave owners and thought gay refers to happy people. This brings us to the view of ethical individualism. Gorsuch believes that in 1787, the founders created the greatest charter of human liberty the world has ever known. He promised to be a faithful servant to it. An ethical individualist knows that the ideas of the Constitution originated in human beings. The laws of the state are always born in the head of a statesman. Only he is unfree who forgets this origin and makes them either divine commands or objective moral duties or the authoritative voice of his own conscience. If we forget that the origin of the Constitution was human beings and instead believe it to be some kind of divine commandments etched in stone that we must serve for all time, we lose our freedom. A justice must maintain his right to think freely if he is to be a faithful servant to freedom. Otherwise, the Constitution will no longer be what Gorsuch calls a charter of human liberty. Instead, it will become a dogma to oppress the individual. The ethical individualist respects the Constitution as coming from the same world of ideas that are the source of his ideas. If he thinks the laws are justified, he will act in accordance with them as if they were his own ideas. If he thinks his ideas are better than the existing laws, he will try to replace them with his own. Thanks for listening, and remember to live and let live. Give me your thoughts below. I really appreciate your comments.